supply. And guess what? They started by giving extra love to the local quebradas. What's a quebrada, you ask? Well, it's just a fancy word for a little stream, but with a name like that, it deserves a tiara. These efforts were all about making sure the environment got the royal treatment, highlighting the city's commitment to sustainability. Who knew that mayors could moonlight as environmental superheroes? Now, as Bogotá was sprucing up its greenery, it invited a few friends to the party, imported plant species. These plants were like the relatives you didn't know you had, popping in to restore some eroded areas. But not all guests are good guests, right? Enter the Retamo espinoso, a plant that turned out to be a bit of a party crasher. This brings us to an important lesson. Sometimes, inviting the wrong plants into your garden can lead to some serious consequences. Who knew gardening could be such high-stakes drama? Speaking of drama, invasive species are the villains in this tale. They pose significant risks not only to local ecosystems, but also to good community safety. Think of them as that neighbor who borrows your lawnmower and never returns it. You know the type. It's a real wake-up call that we need to keep an eye on our plant pals, because their presence could threaten the environment and even our public health. So let's raise our magnifying glasses and get vigilant, folks. Now, on to the superhero move of the hour. The eradication protocol for our friend, the invasive Retamo espinoso. This nifty plan aims to kick this unwanted guest out of the Quebrada Las Delicias area, which is as crucial for local biodiversity as a good family recipe is for Thanksgiving dinner. If we want our ecosystems singing in harmony, we need to ensure that this invasive plant doesn't steal the spotlight. The eradication protocol is like a well-planned dinner party consisting of 3 basic phases. We're kicking things off with the diagnostic phase. It's the part where we draw up the guest list, or in this case, we identify and map out the invasive thickets. This careful planning ensures we don't miss a single weed. It's all about taking that comprehensive approach and making sure that every plant is accounted for, just like making sure Uncle Joe isn't overcooking the turkey. After we've scouted the area and identified the invaders, it's time for the implementation phase. Think of it as rolling up your sleeves to get down to business. This phase involves prepping the area for action and safely disposing of our unwanted plant guests. And guess what? We need the whole community on board. It's a team effort here, so whether you're wielding a shovel or making lemonade, everyone can pitch in. Now, one of the critical steps in this process is the controlled burning of invasive plant biomass. It may sound dramatic, but don't worry, it's all done safely, kind of like a bonfire night with marshmallows, only less s'mores. This process must comply with environmental regulations, ensuring that we get our ecological restoration done right. Remember, safety first. This isn't a campfire sing-along. And now for the piece de resistance, the use of ash from those burned plants. This magical dust can help in ecological restoration by doubling as compost material. Talk about turning trash into treasure. It shows off some impressive sustainable practices and effective waste management, which, let's be honest, is basically how we all wish to manage our households, right? No more leaving leftovers in the fridge for weeks. Lastly, let's chat about adding native species back into the mix, especially legumes. They're like the unsung heroes of soil enrichment, working tirelessly to fix nitrogen and support diverse ecosystems. Think of them as the family glue that keeps everything balanced. By creating a welcoming environment for these plants, we're ensuring that nature can throw its own epic party, full of life and color. Now that's what I call a happy ending. Welcome to Salento, a charming little gem founded in 1842. Picture this, the enchanting sights of beautifully preserved 19th century buildings that are so picturesque, they could make even a grumpy cat crack a smile. It's no wonder tourists flock here like bees to honey, all eager for some delightful cultural experiences that will make their Instagram followers green with envy. Now, let's talk about the Plaza de Bolivar, the heart and soul of Salento. This lovely plaza pays tribute to Simon Bolivar, who was basically the superhero of South America, helping several countries, including Colombia, break free from oppression. I mean, if there were an Independence Hall of Fame, he'd definitely be the star player. Just a hop, skip, and a jump away, visitors can find a smorgasbord of restaurants around Plaza de Bolivar. These eateries are like treasure chests filled with reasonably priced traditional Colombian food that's as hearty as your grandma's hug. Seriously, you can feast like a king without emptying your wallet. Your taste buds will thank you. Speaking of feasting, don't leave without trying a traditional snack made from unripe mango strips. It's a flavor explosion with a delightful mix of sour, salty, sweet, and just the right amount of spicy. Honestly, it's like the mango decided to throw a party and everyone is invited, your taste buds included. Now, let's stroll down the artisan walking street, where the shops are bursting with local crafts and souvenirs. This place is renowned for its diverse offerings and competitive prices, making it the ultimate playground for shopaholics. Seriously, don't blink or you might miss the perfect souvenir to bring back to Aunt Edna, who claims she has everything. And after all that shopping, if you're feeling adventurous, Salento's Mirador is calling your name. The climb might get your heart pumping, but the stunning views of the town will make you feel like you're on top of the world, ideal for both exercise enthusiasts and aspiring photographers. Just remember to catch your breath before you start snapping those selfies. Now, let's pause and appreciate the sendo wax palms, Colombia's national tree that can grow up to 200 feet tall. Talk about a dramatic entrance. These towering beauties are like the region's natural cheerleaders, waving their fronds in support of nature's finest scenery. If you thought a regular palm tree was impressive, just wait until you see these giants. As you hike, you might notice the trail getting a bit trickier. It's like nature's way of testing your determination. But fear not. The high point will reward you with sweeping views of the Andes, making every tumble worth it. Just be sure to bring your best. I just hiked for this pose for your next family photo. For those who prefer a gentler pace, why not saddle up and rent a horse to explore the Carota Valley? It's like being in your very own Western movie, minus the cowboy hat, but feel free to wear one if you want. You'll get to appreciate those towering palms in all their glory from a comfortable saddle. It's a win-win. And let's not forget the wildlife. During your hikes near the water, you'll enjoy some unforgettable encounters with nature. Trust me, nothing says adventure quite like stumbling upon a critter that resembles your cousin Larry. It's all part of the magical experience as you soak in the beautiful Colombian landscape. Colombia proudly stands as the third largest coffee producer in the world, with a rich history stretching all the way back to the 1800s. Colombian coffee has made quite the mark globally, kind of like the popular kid in school everyone wants to sit with during lunchtime. Last but definitely not least, visitors can dive into hands-on activities at coffee farms. You can go from seed to cup, learning all about the growing process and even tasting different roasting styles. It's a fun way to caffeinate while gaining a new appreciation for that glorious cup of joe, because let's be honest, life is too short for bad coffee. Welcome to the Amazon rainforest, folks. This magnificent green wonder stretches over 6.7 million square kilometers. That's right. It's the largest tropical rainforest on our planet, essentially the big boss of rainforests. And who holds the majority of this leafy treasure? Brazil, of course. Approximately 60% of this leafy paradise can be found kicking back and soaking up the sun there. Now, let's talk trees. The Amazon is home to an astonishing 16,000 tree species. That's like a family reunion, but with more chlorophyll and fewer awkward conversations. These leafy giants are superheroes in disguise, playing a vital role in keeping our climate in check. They absorb carbon dioxide faster than you can say photosynthesis and release oxygen, which, by the way, we humans are incredibly fond of. Speaking of climate, if you enjoy warm temperatures and high humidity, the Amazon is your tropical paradise. It's got it all, 2 seasons, wet and dry, just like your favorite rainy day movie and summer blockbuster. Whether you're splashing through puddles or dodging the drizzle, the Amazon's climate is always ready for some family fun. And now, let's climb the canopy layer. It's like the Amazon's own wildlife mansion, teeming with birds, insects, and monkeys swinging around like they own the place. Seriously, folks, if you thought your family made a lot of noise, just wait until you hear a troop of monkeys having a party in the trees. This layer is vital to the rainforest's health, acting like the ultimate jungle VIP section. As we take a step down, we find the understory layer, where the shady trees hold their own secret garden. It's a bit darker, and the plants here have perfected the